Hey everybody, I'm Nate Savage. I'm here with my man, Nice One. Nice One, that's still the name you go by, right?
Nah, I've actually changed it, man. They call me Indian Black now because I've done a little research and found out I have a lot of Indian in my family. And it just made me do more research, and I'm still researching, but I'm learning that all of us didn't get here from the slave ship. Some of us is already here. You know what I'm saying? So
Majority of us was at that time.
yo,
But
go ahead.
the movie, like, it's certain movies that portray not the full truth of Black history. For example, like the movie Roots, like a bunch of white people went to Africa and just started snatching Black people up with ropes and chains and stuff and bringing us over here. That really, it didn't really go down like that. It was really like a slave trade between the Arabs and the British and the English people.
Right.
But like you said, majority of us was already in America, but it's portrayed like it just was the Indians here, only them, and that's just not how it was.
Right.
So anyway, I wanted to ask you, so you're a rapper, right?
I don't want to say just a rapper, man, because that sounds limited.
You
I
do
want to
much
say I'm a
more.
writer. I want to say I'm an activist.
Hmm.
How can I? What else?
You a traveler too, man. I see you everywhere.
I'm blessed, man. Yes, God is letting me see a lot of his green earth.
I see you with pictures with all these celebrities all the time. You be getting it in.
Yeah, yeah. At one point, man, I was going to LA a lot, and I knew a friend out there. He's a promoter, so I used to be at a lot of parties, and we would just bump into each other, And I was going to the BET Awards every year at one point too, so I used to run into a lot of people.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you love America?
You know what? Damn, bro, that's a good question, man. I'm gonna need a second to process that. So I love America. I'm gonna have to say yeah, because I mean this is my home.
When you go to other countries, you basically going to the tourist area. You're not going to the slums.
You know what? Most of the time, however, I went to Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, and I'm on a beautiful resort, beautiful beach, and I signed up to do the off-road four-wheel excursion. Dude, where they took us to ride the four-wheelers, I've never seen poverty on that level in my life.
Yeah.
It was scary, bro. I'm talking about little kids with no shoes running on rocks. You know what I mean? Like it, man.
We
like
live in a great country where in this country, you could choose not to work. The government give you food stamps. You could get Section 8. You could just have a bunch of babies and collect more and more food stamps. What other country could you do that?
That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you say that, now you give me the impression that you're a Republican, though. When you say that,
absolutely, I'm a conservative. Yeah, I'm a Republican conservative.
Okay, so now are all Republicans conservative, and is all conservatives Republicans?
No, there's a difference between a Republican and a conservative Republican. A Republican basically just got the talking points or whatever. Now, a conservative Republican, we more like we want to keep the culture of America the way it was before. Not talking about slavery or nothing like that, but to the point where the government was smaller. They didn't have all these infringements on you.
Okay.
On gun control.
Okay.
Taxes was lower. You had more freedom on your own property.
Right.
And now that's being taken away because a lot of us are voting our freedom away, especially in the Black community, and don't even know it.
Oh, I believe that. I totally believe that, man. So Trump, he's a conservative.
Yes.
Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though I'm not a Trump supporter, I did agree with a lot of things, he agreed on. But what really kept rubbing me the wrong way, man, was his white supporters. I'm talking about the racist ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like they felt more empowered when he was in office. They was racist before he got in office, but I felt like they felt more empowered, to do the tiki torch parades and all that stuff they was doing down in Charlotte, Virginia. Like, you feel what I'm saying? We didn't see that before Trump.
Why? That's another thing. Why do black people care if white people are racist? If they got a tiki torch or whatever, and they just exercising their freedom of speech or whatever, or they burning something, whatever the case. Like, why do we care about that in the black community?
Okay, I can't speak for all black people in our community.
I don't agree with gay people, but I don't care that they have parades and stuff like that.
No, gay people can march all day, but there's a difference between a gay parade and a parade full of white racist supremacists. You know what I'm saying? That energy, bro. Like, you didn't feel like that energy of hate coming off of them? You gonna tell me you didn't feel that, Nate? Talk to me now.
I wouldn't know. I didn't pay that much attention to that. However, I don't care if they're exercising that. That's what America is for. You should have the right to be racist, long as you're not doing anything to harm anybody or hurt anybody. I don't care if you're a white racist.
No, listen, we got plenty of white racists, and we always gonna have racism. We got black racists. I mean, racism is just everywhere, but it's just the fact that when you feel empowered, you feel what I'm saying? I feel like that bleeds over to another area where you're gonna start becoming violent towards black people. I don't care about you being racist. It's where does it lead, though? You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I was a follower of Dr. Umar. You heard of Dr. Umar, right? He has all black events, and I actually went to one of them before. And he talked down on white people at his events. He talked about the white woman is ugly and all kind of stuff, demonizing white people.
I don't agree with that.
However, I don't agree with it neither. At the time, I did.
Right.
But that shouldn't be an issue. He want to start. Everybody know what Dr. Umar stands for. He's in the process of opening up a pro-black back to African school, and it's going to teach. We already know what he talk about, and that's the agenda he's going to push on the kids. That's freedom. He should have that. He ain't hurting nobody. Far as I know, he ain't never burned nothing down or killed nobody.
Right.
He should have the right in America to exercise his dislike for white people. And white people should have the same option to exercise their dislike for black people.
Here's the difference, though. When black people,
Louis Farrakhan do the same thing, by the way.
Right, but let me tell you the difference. When black people express their dislike for white people, it normally doesn't lead into them becoming violent and attacking any white person. When white people express their dislike for black people, it normally, you know what I mean? It drives something in them to let that hate spill into action.
Well, I would always say we got to be careful about silencing the white man, because if them rules are going to apply for them, they could also silence us as well, to the point where nobody have freedom of speech.
I mean, dude, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just feel like it's one thing just to have, you know what I'm saying, it's your speech, but when your speech turns into action, you feel what I'm saying? In a hateful action, specifically.
We should send you to jail, where you turning big rocks into little rocks if you do that.
Right.
Now let me ask you another question that's similar. How much do you care about the Constitution?
Okay, now when you say care about it, are you saying about it being me caring about it being upheld to how it was originally written? Or what?
Do you feel that we should conserve the Constitution?
You know what? I don't know really how to answer that question, because freedom of speech, I know that's an amendment in there. I'm with that. The right to bear arms, I know that's, I don't know all of the amendments, but those two I definitely agree with.
You want to be able to plead the fifth, right?
Okay, please, I agree with that amendment, right? But for me to say I agree with it, I got to also ask you, is it true that one of the amendments is that the black man is 3/4 a human? I was told that's in there.
Yes. The thing is, that was written during slavery time. However, free black people was counted as a full person. It was applied to slaves. That was 3/5 of a man.
Right, but so when those slaves became free, does that mean they're not no longer
Yeah,
three-fifths?
they're a full person. They came a full person at that point. Slavery was wrong and is a sin of the country.
No, that's true. That's true. But I'm saying, so you're telling me a black man will look at his slave as you three-fourths man, but once he becomes free, you think that same white man looks at him like, oh, you're a full man now, or you're a freed slave?
I mean, that's something that each individual white person or black person is going to have their own biases viewing each other.
Right.
But as a country as a whole, once slavery was over, you was counted as a full man.
Okay. So
Um,
let me ask you, let me interrupt you. So do you the powers that be right now, do you think they look at black people the same way they look at white people?
right now, the powers that's in office, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
But there is plenty of opportunity in this country. I think Joe Biden is a hardcore racist, and I'm surprised that black people ignored his sins from the past and the things that he said about black people.
I'm
Kamala
telling you
Harris,
why though.
she's not pro-black at all.
Listen, if Biden was running against anyone else, he would have probably lost. But there's no way in hell that black people wanted to see Trump in there for another 4 years with that racist base that he had. That was the only turnoff, dude. Look, Trump was against vaccines. Trump was against a lot of shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to curse on it. I don't know if you got to edit that out or not.
That's fine.
I apologize. Yeah, he would. A lot of things I agree with him, but it's just the fact that
I really don't see the races or racism on the right side. I see more racism on the left side by the white liberals, the people that come into the inner cities and tell you they're going to fix your problems for you. When you really think about who's a racist and who's not, the conservative Republican man has no say so of what's going on in a lot of the inner cities. Right now, I don't know no major city that been ran by a Republican conservative man.
right.
The Democrats always cater to black people and say, vote for us. We're going to fix your problems. They come up with the most horrible policies ever. However, they can control black people with the word racism. As long as you say Republicans are racist, then then black people will be afraid and go along with it. And white people are so afraid to be called the racist, they'll go along with stupid stuff like critical race theory.
Well, what I'm saying is I believe it's all a trick bag. I believe the Democrats is racist, the Republicans is racist. They're all racist. But what I'm saying is when I get back to Trump, though, when he was having that debate and they brought up the Proud Boys, and the moderator asked him, would you denounce the Proud Boys and tell them to stand down? You heard what Trump's response was. Stand down, stand by, or something like that. No, specifically stand by and stand ready. So you see what I'm saying? Like it was that base that, listen, that's what drove black people to vote for Biden, who came up with the 94 crime bill, who said all other black men are predators, all the stuff he said. A lot of people just had to put that aside because they did not want to see Trump in there with those racist supporters that he had, the Proud Boys and the other groups. You know what I'm saying?
The Proud Boys, from what I understand about them, they're against like something about the whole Pizzagate scandal. I think that's where it all kicked off with Hillary Clinton and something about them eating children and child molestation or something about this, the Steen guy, whatever his name is, that got busted.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they was against all of that. So they've been labeled like an extreme group. And one of the starters of the Proud Boys actually was a brother. And they accept Spanish people and black people. It's a whole bunch of people that's part of the Proud Boys. I really don't know a lot about them, but from what I understand, they're not a racist like white supremacist group, even though the media portrayed them as to be that.
Well, you know what? It might be the media's portrayal, but because when they show the visuals, it's all white ones. I've seen a few Spanish here and there, but I've never seen any black. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying?
you can't trust the media. The media is all about race
Of
baiting.
course not. I mean, they're all about manipulation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. Now we talked about the Constitution before. I live in New Jersey, by the way,
Right.
so I'm not far from you. What is your opinion on gun rights, gun control?
I feel like if you pass all the security checks plus a psychological evaluation, you should be able to own a firearm.
Should you have to pass all them tests to go to Home Depot as well?
I don't. I mean, I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say, because you could buy a tool from Home Depot and use that as a
More
weapon.
people get killed with a hammer than a gun.
I would have, brother. You have to show me them numbers before I agree. You gotta show me them numbers, man. You gotta show me them numbers, man. You know what I'm saying?
New York is ran off a tyrannical government, as well as New Jersey, where our Second Amendment is in violation. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. What do shall not be infringed mean to you?
I mean, it sounds like it shouldn't be stopped.
Right. We shouldn't have, and of course I'm far right, so we shouldn't have
I'm
no
listening to you.
laws.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
We shouldn't have no gun control. Gun control only helps criminals. Them are the only
Explain.
people that benefit off of gun control, because Pookie and Ray Ray, they gonna have their gun no matter what. They gonna have an extended magazine and all kinds of stuff. Now, when a government want to become a tyrannical government like New Jersey, and I think New York is very similar, y'all probably a little worse. We're not allowed to have a magazine more than 10 rounds. Pookie and Ray
Even
Ray
if you're,
gonna have a 30-round clip.
you're saying even if you're licensed, you still can't have
Even
a
if
mag.
you're licensed, yeah.
Okay.
And you can't even get in New York, especially New York City and in New Jersey, it's damn near impossible to get a license to carry a firearm
Oh yeah, you're gonna spend a lot of money. And you
unless
got-
you're like law enforcement or something like that.
No, I mean you can get it, but it's gonna cost you. You're gonna have to make the right phone calls and get the right people to, you know what I'm saying, to give you this reference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not gonna be easy as in PA or South Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
In my opinion, there shouldn't be any gun laws. I mean, let me take that back. There should be gun laws. Like, I think you should have to be over 21. And I
Right.
don't think you should have the right to just kill somebody, which is already illegal anyway. And you shouldn't have the right to aim your firearm at somebody for no reason.
Right.
But in my opinion, even if you're a convicted felon, I don't see how the government can say, well, you're a convicted felon, your life ain't that important, you don't need to defend yourself, call us and we'll protect you.
No, I agree with you with that, but see, now here's where it gets tricky. And this is where it becomes opinionated and subjective. When you say you don't feel someone should aim their weapon at someone for no reason. What I might consider not a reason, you might consider a reason. You see what I'm saying? And that's where
It has to be life threatening. And I think that we can
I
come to
agree with
common
you.
grounds on what's life threatening.
Listen, I agree with you, but once again, you're a black man. I might see you and say, I'm threatened from your visual. I'm threatened. Now I done pulled the gun out. You know what I'm saying? My attorney, his job is to convince the jury, I felt threatened. Now, how do you prove this man didn't feel threatened? You see what I'm saying? Me and you might not have felt threatened. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Subjective.
The problem I got with all of this gun control, we are our own first responders. And if something is going on, you might not have time to call the cops.
I agree.
A woman that's getting off the bus at 2 o'clock in the morning from work is like, okay, well, you better run fast and call the cops and we're going to get there and protect you. I don't like that idea.
I agree.
So I think like New York, New Jersey, California, and Illinois is way too strict on guns, way too strict.
Right, right.
I think every state should be like Texas. And
Yeah,
I think I should be able to carry a firearm and travel all around the whole country without a problem.
Right, right.
And that's my view. And that's like the conservative Republican view.
Well, but here's the issue though.
And black people vote against their gun rights all the time because these white liberal Democrats who act like they come into black people to help you, they say, hey, well, we're gonna get the guns off the street. And that sounds good to the average person who don't know what get the guns off the street mean. It don't mean take the guns from Pookie and Ray Ray. It means we're gonna infringe on the rights of law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, so what would be your solution to stop dudes running up in public schools, letting off 4 and 5 rounds from an AK?
Well, I'll say it like this. Once everybody's a gangster, nobody's a gangster.
So
these people that run up in schools, or the people that the white boys or whatever that do mass shootings, whenever they do them, which is rare anyway, they go to places where they know nobody ain't gonna have a gun. They don't go to places where people gonna have a gun.
Right.
You know, and that's my view. And honestly, like, the AR-15 is the weapon that the Democrats are attacking right now.
Right.
How you gonna tell me my life ain't important enough that I might need an AR-15? I don't know if people gonna come in here and try to Scarface my ass. I want more than just a handgun.
I feel on that. But so when you say there should be no gun laws, or you say only gun law, you say you should be 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you shouldn't have the right to kill somebody.
What about? But that's what guns mainly do, bro. That's the end result.
Well, and not, I mean, when I say kill somebody, I mean murder somebody. You know, of course, it has to be a legal kill, like your life under threat, where they break in your house, whatever the case is.
Okay. Now, so what about psychological background checks? You feel like everyone has the mental capacity to be responsible with a firearm?
Now that's one thing that I would say you shouldn't have the right to necessarily bear arms at that point. If you somebody that checks in and out of the hospital and is recorded that you live with your brother, your sister, and they kick you out all the time, you run the streets, and then you check into a hospital, you know what I mean? A clear mental problem. No, that, like, you shouldn't have that right.
So it shouldn't be no psychological forms you fill out. Hey, are you feeling depressed? Do you feel like hurting yourself? You feel like hurting anyone else? None of them questions should be asked. You saying?
Yeah, you should be able to ask them. They should be able to ask them. But the thing is, the AR-15 is under attack, right? And then the mass shootings get blamed on white people. However, black people are the number ones who do the mass shootings. Black people do more mass shootings than white people do.
When you say mass shootings, are you saying that more black people get shot at one time in one location than when a white person does it? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, Pookie and Ray Ray, they shoot up the club. They don't care. You know, Pookie and Ray Ray doing drive-by shootings.
Yeah, but even with a drive-by shooting,
anytime more than four or more people get shot, FBI consider that a mass shooting. And the number one mass shooting pickup gun is not an AR-15. It's actually a handgun.
I mean, but when Pookie and Ray Ray shoot at somebody, I mean, it's rare that more than 4 people get shot. Normally.
Yeah, little kids get killed and everything, man. They don't care.
But it's rare when there's more than 4. But then you look at what happened in Las Vegas maybe 3 years ago at the concert. Like, that's a mass shooting, bro. Like no, that doesn't happen with a black person. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's so. But the thing is, the AR-15 and all of that, and it's so rare that's the gun of choice, and it's rare that a white person actually do that. I know it does happen, but that's so, to me, that's so rare that happens. And like I said, everybody should bear arms, and I guarantee you that crazy ass white boy, they gonna chill on that when everybody got a gun.
You might be right, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You definitely might be right.
And moving forward, all right, if you're you heard of Lori Lightfoot, right?
Yeah, I don't know who she is, but that name is familiar, bro.
She's the mayor of Chicago.
Okay, yeah, I know who she is now.
If you was the mayor of Chicago, what would you do to stop the violence or slow down the violence?
Bro, I have no answer for that, man. I wouldn't even know where to start, man. Like, it's really, really bad out there, man. Like,
do you think stop and frisk is racist?
It's not racist, but what it does lead to is profiling.
Mhm.
You're not going to stop Doug or Gary with the Dr. khakis on, with the button up tucked in. No, you're going to pull up, like you said, Pookie and Ray Ray, jeans sagging,
Well,
braids.
they will stop them if they see them on Kensington Avenue in Philly.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So like, look, even here in New York, man, yo, gun violence is up, man.
Out of control.
Right, and I think, you know, everybody wearing masks is helping it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So with that being said, we just got a new mayor. Damn, I forgot his name. Black mayor too, ex-cop, by the way, from NYPD, and he wants to bring back stop and frisk, which is good. But once again, it leads to the profiling. You know what
Unfortunately, if your city is under a pandemic, like we got to wear the mask because they say it's a pandemic. I don't like wearing a mask. It's extremely uncomfortable. I hate it. But they say it's a pandemic. Now, places like Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, let's say Chicago, there's normal for 30 bodies, 50 bodies to drop every weekend. I don't give a damn who feel uncomfortable or who feel like it's racist. If that many bodies is dropping every weekend, we got to start to stop and frisk. We got to put National Guard on the ground and do whatever. And we shouldn't care if somebody call it racist if that many people is dropping every weekend.
No, like I said, I don't believe stop and frisk is racist. I just believe it leads to profiling. If you're
some people are going to have to be profiled.
You know what? If that's what we gotta do to slow down the killing, I'm with it.
Now let me ask you about you heard of like the whole transgender LGBTQ movement. What is your opinion on people like Michelle Obama pushing a movement where trans men are going to elementary schools to read trans children books to kids?
What is a trans children? What is a what is a trans child? How are you a child?
Not a child. I'm talking about regular kids. They're sending transgender men to elementary schools to read storybooks to the kids and teach kids that it's okay to be a transgender.
I'm not with none of that shit, bro. I'm gonna be real with you.
They're pushing the LGBTQ stuff on the children.
Bro, it's a whole agenda. It's a whole agenda, bro.
But do black people know they're voting for that when they vote for Kamala Harris and they vote for Joe Biden? It's a Democratic push.
No, listen, man. When black people voted for Biden and Kamala, they had no idea what they were getting, but they did know what they wasn't getting. And that was Trump, man. I'm telling you, man, like if he'd have ran against anybody else, dude, they wouldn't have won. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for me, I don't really care if Trump is a racist. He wasn't, as far as I know, he wasn't doing anything to hurt the black community in a negative way.
Nah, yo, to be honest, yo, when you look up when you do the research, he did a lot of shit to help black people.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice. Me and my man used to have an argument because he's a Trump supporter.
Right.
And he's every day texting me, telling me.
He'll probably like this interview, I bet.
Huh?
He'll probably like this interview.
Oh yeah, he'll love this interview. So he told me about what is it? What is her name? Is it Lisa Stanton? The black girl that Trump pardoned.
Oh yeah, I know he went on a pardon spree when he was going out, but that's normal for every president to do.
Right. So he pardoned, no, but before he even went out, he pardoned this black lady and she became a real advocate for him. And people couldn't understand it. Even me. She went on the Breakfast Club, Envy, Charlemagne, everybody going at her because she was a Trump supporter. But now in hindsight, I'm like, damn, I was wrong. I misjudged her. But just by her aligning herself with Trump, it should just shut me off. I didn't want to hear nothing. You feel what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, that's how it is.
But when I go back and listen to everything she was saying, damn, she was right. Here's the funny part about her. She's being protested by the LGBT community because she has a gay son who wants to be called a female. And she's like, no, son, you're a boy. I'm not calling you a girl. Yeah. So they're mad at her for that.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Well, you know, the Charlemagne and God in the Breakfast Club, they pushing a far left agenda on that show anyway. They're 100% against conservative Republican people in general. Let me ask you about this. What is your opinion on gentrification?
Oh man. I don't like it because black people get priced out of the neighborhood. You know, I do like it because the neighborhood gets a big renovation.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, do Black people really want what they asking for? When Black people complain about, oh, the schools in the area are no good, the roads ain't fixed, all the buildings are falling apart, and the neighborhood is trash, do they really want the neighborhood to be fixed up?
They do.
They don't know what it come along with. That's gentrification.
You know what? You're right, man. And when a neighborhood gets fixed up, the property value going up.
Exactly. Nothing comes for free. Unfortunately, Black people think that it's free to fix the neighborhood. They think better schools is free. Nothing's free in America.
But look, but why
not
does
even America, every country.
Right. But why does having renovations in the hood, why does that mean gentrification? Why can't we renovate ourselves and still be there?
Well, I mean, the thing is, because we beg the white man to do it. We be begging white people to come fix the neighborhood. And the white man, he'll come fix up the projects and rebuild them and make them look nice. Pookie and Ray Ray spray painted. They go do shootouts right there. I seen in Philly where it'd be like, they've rebuilt like some nice houses for the Black people, right? And then a month later, it looked like it's abandoned. It just looked crazy. It's needles on the ground and all kinds of stuff. And
see,
the violence is out of control.
That's deeper, man. That goes back to mentality and mindset.
Right.
Man.
There's no legislation that the white man can write to change how Black people act culturally. However, we blame the white man for how we act culturally.
You know what's crazy? I don't want to blame the white man because we are responsible for our own actions, man. But I don't know where from slavery to now, the whole I don't know where the crab in a barrel mentality came from.
We really got a crab in a barrel mentality, man. Even I moved out the hood, and a lot of Black people said I was cooning because I don't live in the hood no more, and I don't care about the Black dollar. It's like I thought that's what we supposed to fight for. A real N-word ain't trying to stay in the hood. A real N-word trying to get up out the hood, right?
Right.
And then when you do that, you get shamed by other Black people like, oh, you don't care about Black people. As soon as you get money, you move out. That's crazy.
But that's what we all want to do. We all aspire to live better for our family and us.
Yeah, when Black people get some money, they want to move around white folks. They know white folks are more peaceful.
Yeah. And it's a shame because you might move in a white neighborhood that's beautiful, and your white neighbors might despise you. You feel me? And
they might despise you, but long as they're not doing nothing to harm you or anything, I wouldn't care. Like the movie Karen they coming out with, that's an extreme, over-exaggerated thing.
Hold on. They got a whole movie coming out called Karen?
Yeah. I did a video on it. Maybe you'll check it out.
I got you check it. Yo, bro. Oh, wait, bro. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab some. 1 second.
All right.
All right, we back in live, baby.
Okay. What is your opinion on Black people putting up the Black fist, yelling out Black power?
I don't have a problem with that.
Is it okay for white people to do the same thing?
You know what? I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, we do that to feel more empowered ourselves, to improve our own self-esteem. You feel what I'm saying? Like they already have power. Do they really need to do that? They're already in power.
So Black people, in a way, they kind of feel inferior to white people.
Yes.
At least you admit it. That's a shame.
No, bro. Yo, listen, hold on. Let me break this down, man. Yo, Nate, the shit is so deep. It's sad how deep it is, bro. For the fact where, how can I say it? So many white people, since the neighborhood's been gentrified, right? Mm-hmm. So many white people have moved into Bed-Stuy. That's where, you know, I'm from out here, right? Bed-Stuy. And it's crazy because Nothing had happened to the white people. But the black people will rob another black person before they rob that white person. Because they'll feel like there'll be more consequence and repercussion from robbing that white person. So now we devalue our own selves. That's
right.
how deep.
And it's pushed by unfortunately the media push a culture on black people as well, because think about it. A white person can get robbed by a black person. That black person gonna go to jail, be charged with a robbery, right? If a white person rob a black person, they're gonna be accused of a hate crime and some other charges.
Maybe.
So in a way, it's black privilege, kind of. In a way, it is some black privilege.
Explain how that's black privilege.
Like I said, if a white person do anything to harm another black person, they're gonna catch the charge, and on top of that charge, it's gonna be considered a hate crime.
No.
If a black person victimizes a white person, they just gonna get charged with the crime. It's not gonna be considered a hate crime, even if they say "F you, cracker." Why they doing it?
I can't let you rock with that, Nate. Let's go into the numbers. When the last time you heard of a white person getting charged with a hate crime?
It was pretty recent, like in New Jersey, like probably 3 weeks ago. It was a white dude that showed up at a black guy house and was yelling like
I seen it on Facebook.
Something about like N-word and all of this other whatever racist rhetoric he had, right?
Right.
That was a hate crime.
And did he get charged with it though?
It's still pending right now.
Right. But, okay. Now listen, the white guys who
got charged with it, he didn't get convicted yet.
Okay, at least he's charged with it. I mean, that's one step in the right direction.
Right.
Let's talk about the white guys who killed I think it's Ahmaud. I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes. We still never heard none of a hate crime in that charge. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. Listen, it's been hard, dude. Listen, it's been hard for white people to get charged with a hate crime, man. They've always had a way. Listen, they've always had a way to justify. I felt threatened. They've never said, "Oh, I did it because I hate him. He was black." No, I felt threatened. It's so hard for them to get charged with that hate crime. So don't think every white person will get charged with a hate crime, dude.
No, they don't. And I don't think it should be a such thing as a hate crime. Ahmaud Arbery, the white people was wrong, right? However, I don't see enough evidence to say that it was racially motivated.
This is what I'm saying. So what would make you think that white people would get charged with a hate crime if they do something to a black person?
That's just how it is.
Okay, wait, I'm confused. What are you saying? They will get charged or they won't get charged?
They will get charged with it. They'll get charged with a hate crime. I seen like where was
Nate? Hold up, Nate. Just think about black history here in America. Think about our history. Think about all the lynchings that's happened to us. Who have you ever heard charged? What white man have you ever heard get charged with a white crime? I mean, hate crime.
Well, hate crime, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a new thing, right? That just came out like within the past 5 or 10 years, right?
It might be. But since then, black people have still got lynched by white people. Look, Nate, it's so deep, Nate. Now, where do you sit on this? Let's talk about the anti-lynching bill, right? Are you familiar with that bill?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. They've been trying to get this bill passed, I want to say maybe since the 80s, where if we prove it's a lynching, then you will be charged with a hate crime. This bill has been turned down for 20 years. Why is that? They don't want white people charged with a hate crime. That's why they won't pass the bill. You see where this is going, Nate?
Right. I think people, honestly, I don't think it should be a such thing as a hate crime. I think people should if you do the crime, you should do the time. They're going to do the time anyway. The hate crime is just going to divide the people that don't have nothing to do with the crime. It's like, all right, it's just like this. I forget his name. The white boy that went up and shot up the black church, right?
Right.
You know that story. All right, give him, put him on death row, give him 150 years, whatever you're gonna do to him. His life is over. That's it. He'll never see the daylight again. And that should be it. don't throw the hate crime on it, because now the hate crime is going to divide the free people, the white and the blacks, against each other. Just charge him for what he did. Don't let him see the daylight again. Hate
Yeah,
crime is
but
just divide the people.
no, also hate crimes also is to get how can I say it? A harsher sentencing out of it. You see what I'm saying? Because you saying if you do a regular crime, regardless of who it's against, Mexican, whatever you own,
Yeah.
it's a crime. I understand what you're saying. Why add the hate to it? Because that's gonna cause divide, right? But now when they apply that to homosexuals, right? Where if you punch if I punch a heterosexual in the face, it's gonna be assault.
Well, you know what? It's
Hold
crazy
on.
because
If I punch that homosexual, it might be a hate crime.
that ain't right.
I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying this is why they add that word hate. It brings more of a harsher sentencing.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
as a man, we always basically get charged with a hate crime, because I seen women do the same exact crime as men, and they don't even get as much time.
Well, listen, we have a double standard in our society, man. Sometimes it works for us, sometimes it works against us.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
Moving forward, let me ask you, have you ever heard of this racist, Marxist, terrorist organization? It's called Black Lives Matter.
Damn, son, you call them a racist organization? That's how you feel? Why are they racist, bro? I mean, I don't know what to make of them, so I'm not saying I'm with them, I'm against them, right?
Yeah.
Because I need more research. I keep hearing this name, George Soros.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
I'm not for sure exactly.
Yeah, that's who started it. And Black Lives Matter is a racist terrorist organization. Black Lives Matter, first of all, it was built off of a lie. It's anti-fatherhood against black men, and it's part of the LGBTQ plus movement.
Right.
Now,
right.
And Black Lives Matter, they don't care about the straight black man unless you get killed by a white person or a white cop in general.
Right.
Regularly, me and you, our life don't matter to Black Lives Matter. They don't care about us while we alive. Only if they could actually hustle our death, they'll care about us.
Okay. Now, when you say they, are you talking about the
organization?
Hold up, because there's many people that's in the organization that don't feel the way that you're saying. I do believe George Soros, and if he's involved,
maybe they should join the Nation of Islam. They shouldn't be affiliated with Black Lives Matter.
Who should join the Nation of Islam?
I don't know. Join another organization, because there's nothing good about Black Lives Matter.
You know what? I'm not gonna say there's nothing good about it. I can't go that far. When the George Floyd
it's like it was some good things about Hitler and Nazi Germany, but majority of it was bad.
Well, you know what? As of right now, you might be right, but I don't see exactly what you see as far as the majority of it being bad.
If any group, as a black community, if any group say they want to take out the black father out the home, automatically us as a black community should dead that group.
Oh, no. I'm totally against that. But what I'm saying is, at the same time, I can't sit here and say that no good came from it, man.
If Black lives really matter, why do they support killing babies in a mother's womb?
I mean,
Black Lives Matter is all. Black people don't even know that the organization stand for all of this stuff.
But this is what I'm trying to say. We don't. All we know is after George Floyd got killed, we've seen white women on the front line protecting us, getting shot in the face with rubber bullets, saying Black Lives Matter. We took it as like, yo, y'all give a fuck if we die. We didn't take it as, oh, y'all want to get the black man out the house. We didn't take it as all that. I'm telling you how we took it.
Yeah, I understand that.
Who got my perspective.
Black people looked at it the same way TLC looked at their contract.
You gotta explain.
Well, it's like we didn't read what they stood for. We just heard the title and was like, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so while me and you doing this interview, I want to learn from it because I'm hearing, bro, I didn't know you was this far right. You was, boy. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I want to be open-minded. I want to hear how you got to this perspective that you got.
Yeah.
So that's why, listen, so hold up. So that's why when you tell me something, I'm gonna say, if I don't understand it, I'm not gonna front like, okay, well, no. Explain exactly what you're saying and why you feel that way. You feel me?
Well, what I noticed about a lot of Black people and like, we blindly support the Democratic Party because
That's true. That's
we
true.
just go off of things that sound good. Like I said, when they say get the guns off the street, that sounds good. When we hear Planned Parenthood, it ain't got nothing to do with planning your parenthood.
This
You
is
know
true.
what I mean? And we just go with it just because the title sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter want to destroy the nuclear family and want to take the Black father out of the home, is in support of Margaret Sanger, who think the Black man don't matter at all. Black Lives Matter was built off a lie. Cops actually kill more white people every year, armed and unarmed, justified and unjustified, than Black people.
Okay, stop right there though. When you break down the numbers, it's still more of us getting killed. We only make up 13% of the US population. Man.
It's more of us killing each other. In the hood, you ain't got to worry about no cop. You got to worry about another brother.
It depends, because if you and your girl or you and your wife get into an argument and she called police and they come, you might have to worry about getting killed.
And you might need to get a new girl.
Yeah, well, you can always get a new girl. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
But worry about, you know what I mean, how police gonna act to this Black man when they show up on a domestic violence case. You feel what I'm saying? A domestic violence call, you know?
I mean, for the most part, all right, if you get real, most of these cases could be avoided if people would just be cool, calm down, talk to the cop with respect. If they violate your rights, we'll beat them in court. Because you ain't gonna beat no cop in the street.
Now, Nate, you say, making that statement, brother. Have you ever been violated by police?
I dealt with them, and
That's
not
what I'm
exactly.
saying. Hold up, I didn't say have you
I dealt with cops, but I never
Okay.
like. I always be
Right.
cool. I always be cool.
Right. So you've had interactions, you've had dealings with them, but
Yeah.
you've never been violated.
Right.
Being violated, I guarantee you, will give you a different perspective. If you were speaking to a cop with all the respect, you complied to everything he said, and he still snatched you out the car when you was dressed, ready to go out with your girl, got you on the floor for nothing, your perspective would be different. So it's easy for us to say, oh, we would do this, we do that. Most people do that, but we see video. Black people get pulled over, yes sir, no sir, still get killed. So you feel what I'm saying? That's about the people
that can happen. It's possible to get killed
hold.
with compliance.
When you say, okay, let's not, when you say it can happen, for the people that's watching this video, I just want them to be clear. It's not just a realm of possibility. This has happened. This is factual. This happens often.
The chances of getting killed for absolutely no reason by the cops is the same chances you got of hitting the lottery.
Definitely not.
But it does happen. And when it do happen,
Definitely
the media
not.
blow it up and pretend that it happens all the time.
Nah, Nate. You got to show me these numbers, bro.
All right.
You know what I mean? Yo, did you ever see what Castillo, once again, man, this brother's name, I think it's Castillo. The brother got killed in Minnesota. While his girl was on Facebook Live, while he had his daughter in the back seat. He wasn't even driving the car. He was the passenger. All he did was tell the officer asked, do you have any firearms? Yes, I have a registered firearm. The man still ended up getting killed. He complied with everything he did. So hold up, Nate. So when you say, oh, a lot of this could be avoided if they just speak to the officer with respect, not always, man. And for you to say, yo, the chances of hitting a lottery, you got a better chance of hitting a lottery than getting killed by a cop in a traffic stop? No, dude.
I guarantee you, if you actually look up the numbers of Black people that was killed for absolutely no reason, and then look at the lottery numbers, it would be real similar.
Nate, once again, hold on, Nate.
That case you named with the dude that got shot for no reason, them cops was 100% wrong. They should go to prison and turn big rocks into little rocks.
Right, but for the people watching this video, we got to be clear when we talk about words, right? Words have a lot of power and they mean things. When you say no reason, what are you saying? The cops will always make up a reason. You feel what I'm saying? So you
I
can't
always say, like, as a black man that don't really have no power, at the time, the cop, unfortunately, the cop is the judge, the juror, and the executioner at the moment. I'm not saying that's right. It's
that's a
kinda,
fact though. That's a fact. I agree.
the thing is, in my opinion, as black people, we have a better chance of doing what you need to do to get through the situation. If they violate your rights, we'll beat them in court.
Right, but we just talked about the brother who got shot in Minnesota. He didn't get a chance
Right.
to go
And
for it.
that does happen, but that's so rare. The likelihood of that happening to you is just not likely. Now, let me ask you about this. You mentioned him as an unemployed drug addict. His name is George Floyd. What is your opinion on him?
Man. Okay, so before we even get to that, I gotta ask why will it matter to you that he's an unemployed drug addict?
Well, because he's like considered like a saint, and he's considered a hero for black people, and they're making statues and monuments and murals all
Okay,
around the country like
okay,
he was Martin
okay.
Luther King.
Okay, now Nate, I just want to tell you now, I love you. So if we get heated in this discussion, it's still all love.
Right.
But man, you hurt me just now, man. I gotta be real with you. You hurt me. For you to talk about George Floyd being a unemployed drug addict, what does that have to do with his civil rights, man? What does that have to do? Hold up, let me just finish. What does that have to do with his rights as a human? Why does that matter? And see, that's why people have an issue with people that think like you, that's far right. Why does that matter? Please explain that to me.
The reason why it matters is for the reason that I just claimed, because he's somebody that, if it's a statue of somebody, do you want your kids to look at a statue of George Floyd and ask you who that is? Like, do you want to grow up to be like him? No. Why are we getting statues of a guy that was victimizing his whole community, and the only thing he did was get killed unjustifiably by a cop? He wasn't like a great man that should be automatically sent into heaven. He shouldn't go to heaven. I mean, not that we the judge for that, but I'm just saying.
Dude, are you trying to get a job with Fox News or something? Let me know. Is that what you're trying to do? Yo, because your wordplay is real slick like these white people. And I want people, when they watch this video, listen to Nate's wordplay. Nate said George Floyd was victimizing his community. How? Because he was unemployed and on drugs? How was he victimizing?
Well, he held the pregnant woman up at gunpoint prior to his death, and robbed her.
Okay, Nate, where did you get this information from? And how do you know it's accurate, brother?
Well, his whole record is actually on Google. I mean, they put it all up there.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that the cop is justified for killing him. I think George Floyd was an idiot. I think Derek Chauvin was another idiot. So we dealing with two idiots dealing with each other. George Floyd swallowed a whole bunch of drugs because he was afraid to get arrested. So he was having a panic attack. The autopsy showed he overdosed. However, just because you overdose, that don't mean you're going to die. I believe the cop did contribute to George Floyd dying. And I don't feel bad for Derek Chauvin. However, there was cops that did worse things than Derek Chauvin and get less time. Since it was politically motivated, they made sure they put that man in a prison cell forever. I don't like Derek Chauvin.
Okay.
His trial was still unfair.
Okay, before we get to Derek Chauvin, I want you to repeat something that you just said. You said you've seen cops do worse and get less time.
Absolutely.
So should we correct that, or should we continue that pattern?
It should be corrected. Like, I don't know if you remember that one story.
Hold up. So brother, you gotta say that to the people. You gotta say it gotta be corrected, because all you said was, I've seen cops do less and get more time than him. And you left it at that. You didn't say we gotta cut that out. That has to stop. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Those outcomes of those verdicts was wrong. If they did worse than what he did, think about what you're saying. You seen cops do worse than what he did and get away with it.
Well,
That ain't crazy to you?
I don't. I forgot. I think he got charged with like the max one or whatever. I forget the order of it. It's like murder one or
And bro, hold up, time out. Not to cut you off, I apologize. You want to talk about records? Did you look up the cop who killed them? Did you look up his record?
Yeah, Derek
yeah.
Chauvin, he was not a good guy. He shouldn't have been a cop. He's incompetent.
So hold up. So when you speak on this channel, why don't you be fair, brother? Why bring up that George Floyd was unemployed, drug addict? That may be a fact. I don't know. But if you're gonna bring that up and his character, why not bring up the character of the cop?
The character of the cop. The thing is, because I want to teach Black people more than I want to teach white people. And I think that Black people shouldn't give George Floyd sainthood like he was some kind of Martin Luther King or Malcolm X.
Okay.
He doesn't deserve it. In your opinion, do George Floyd deserve a statue, in your opinion?
Before I answer that, once again, I'm really listening to your words, brother. I don't know if it's because I done smoked the weed. I'm extra intuitive right now. But you just said you want to teach. And another reason I want to stop and break down everything with you, brother, because I like what you're doing. And I want you to be great in your space of what you're doing. Right. But I also want you to be more responsible than these Black reporters that we got on TV now. You feel what I'm saying?
I understand.
So, damn, I just lost my train of thought. You said it was something before that you said about.
Well, I was saying, do you think that George Floyd deserves a statue?
Yes. Yes. His death sparked a movement of change, man, that was way overdue, bro.
There's soldiers that fight and die for the country, for the freedom that we have, and they don't even get a statue.
Whose fault is that?
Black people are just looking for symbolization. George Floyd is a symbolic symbol.
Okay, and is that a bad thing?
Yes, absolutely. George Floyd is nobody we should honor. Let me ask you something about this.
Hold up. No, don't just rush past this, Nate. Don't talk about okay, hold on. Because for the people that are watching this, right? Why is George Floyd no one we should honor?
He has a long history of terrorizing the Black community. He never done anything. He never done anything to be honored. I mean, he got killed unjustified by police. He overdosed on drugs. He didn't do anything that we should honor. Like, I don't want my kids to grow up to be like George Floyd. Okay,
listen, Nate, this information you're giving out, everyone who's watching this video, I encourage you to do your own research, because I've never heard from the autopsy report of George Floyd that he overdosed on drugs.
You heard that he was on drugs though, right?
Yes, but once again, Nate, you got to be responsible with your words.
He didn't even have to go that far. He put himself in that situation.
Nate, please, time out, brother. I just want you to be responsible with your words. There's a difference between being on drugs and overdosing on drugs. You just said the man overdosed. So we got to be clear. Which one are you saying happened?
He overdosed, but that, like we both know, that doesn't mean you have to die just because you have an overdose.
Time out. No. I want to stick with the theory that you have of the overdose. Where did you
get this from? The autopsy report shows that he overdosed.
I was told he had drugs in his system. From what I was told, it wasn't an overdose. I've never heard anyone else come with this theory of an overdose, but this is why I'm asking where you got this.
I don't understand the reason why.
Time out. When you watch that video, how long the cop had his foot on his neck? Like
it was close to 9 minutes.
Right. So you seen a man overdose in those 9 minutes?
I don't know what it was that he was going through, but why ain't the drug dealer who sold him the drugs that was in the back seat? Why wasn't he on trial as well with Derek Chauvin?
Nate, I want you to be great at what you do. You got to be responsible for what you're saying. Please, brother, if you're going to represent people that look like me and you. Now you're saying, I asked you, did that look like an overdose when you watched that man's knee on his neck for 9 minutes? You said, I don't know what he was going through. But then earlier you said it was an overdose. So you got to be clear on what you're saying. I just want you to be responsible. You feel what I'm saying?
He in my opinion, he overdosed. And I believe that the cop Derek Chauvin played the role on his death as well.
Okay,
If
but
it
hold
wasn't
on.
for Derek Chauvin, George Floyd wouldn't have died.
Okay, brother. I just gotta ask you once again. I just want you to be responsible with your words.
But this
Is
should
it
be
your
more of a this children, this is why you shouldn't do drugs.
right?
It
Hold
should be
on.
more of a symbol on why we shouldn't do drugs.
Right, but I want you to be clear with your words. Are you saying, in your opinion, he overdosed, or the autopsy said he overdosed?
The autopsy.
So it's not your opinion. You're saying it's
Yeah,
fact.
that's facts. Yeah.
I just want you to be clear. Okay, right.
Okay. And also I think the drug dealer that sold him the drugs that was in the back seat, he shouldn't have been left off the hook.
Okay, I mean, we can say that. We can say
Okay.
that.
Now, should white people have white guilt? Should white people feel bad about slavery today?
Okay, before I answer that though, because we were talking about Floyd having a statue, right?
Mhm.
How do you feel about Martin Luther King Jr. having a statue?
I don't agree with the whole civil rights movement, but Martin Luther King, he was a stand-up
Damn,
guy.
Nate, you don't even agree with the civil rights movement. Dude, have you what is dude? Oh, you ain't Get Out? Hold up, bro. Hold up. Let me get the spoon and the damn.
Yeah,
What is going on? Nate. Yo, you know
Yeah.
what? You gotta bring me on at least once a week, brother. I gotta get you
yeah, I'm gonna
back.
have you on again, definitely.
What is going on, brother?
The civil rights movement is I didn't even plan on talking about civil rights.
We ain't gotta go. We gotta go off track. We'll say that for the next time. But man, we're gonna talk, man. So,
Okay.
So hold on, real quick. My point of bringing up Martin Luther King Jr. and the statue is because some people say, oh, he used to cheat on his wife. So if that was true, when the feds tapped his phone and they said he was cheating, that means he adulterer or whatever. And suppose he was doing drugs, he gets assassinated. What is him doing any of that got to do with him being honored with a statue? You feel what I'm saying?
Well, in today's time, I don't think Martin Luther King wouldn't have got a statue today because we live in cancel culture. But I don't agree with that. I think that Martin Luther King deserves a statue. I don't have a problem with that. That brother, he was a stand-up dude who said a lot of good stuff, and he convinced us to not judge people off of
No,
their
I agree
color
with you.
and all of that.
Hold up, time out.
I like Martin Luther King.
I agree with you. I believe all our black leaders should have a statue. I'm just saying you can't say
I
George
was
Floyd.
more of a Malcolm X fan than Martin Luther King.
He was more of a Malcolm X fan. Okay, I could see that. I love them both. You know, Malcolm's my brother. The master that I used to attend here in Brooklyn, he actually his name is on a paperwork. Like he started the master here. So yeah, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My bad. Hold up, Nate. This is where I lost train of thought on. Earlier, you said you want to teach black people more than you teach white people. That's what I meant to get you about. Don't feel that way, brother. Educate everyone, because that white person you teach more, it might benefit a black person that he has more to understand. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. White people listening too.
Oh, right, please, now, they definitely. So listen, hold up. Watch what you say, because they definitely listening.
Let me ask you. So, what do you feel about white people with white guilt? Should white people feel bad about slavery today?
You know what? Let me tell you something I learned in life. It took me, I had to get older and wiser and meditate to get a higher state of consciousness and talk to God to understand that you can't tell, you could, but in my opinion, you should never tell anyone how to feel. Everyone feels how they feel. What might offend you, you know what I'm saying? Might not offend me. You know what I mean? Like, you might be able to take more, you might be stronger than someone. Like, so I realized when we tell people, oh, get over that, or don't feel no way about it, I don't feel like we should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So if a white person wants to feel guilty about what their ancestors did and how their race is still profiting and prospering now from what happened back then, I'm not gonna say, okay, I understand you feeling that guilt. I'm not gonna say you shouldn't feel guilty, but do something. Just don't feel guilty. Try to, you know what I mean, right or wrong. You feel me?
Well, if a white person still feel guilty, I think they're just ignorant on their history. And if black people are angry, they're just ignorant on their history too, because we're not taught the full context of what slavery was all about. And it's portrayed in America as if it was only white people participating in slavery. And it was never a slavery kidnap. It was a slave trade.
Okay, but listen, Nate, if I kidnap you, right, and trade you, is it a kidnap or is it a trade? It's both, right? It's both. I had to
Well,
kidnap you to trade you. Think about it. How
it
did you
was
become
more
my
about
property?
being honestly like if you have a warrior mentality, it was more of conquering. African tribes conquered other African tribes,
I
whether
agree. Yes, yes.
and they put them in captivity. Other Africans put other Africans in captivity, sold them to the Arabs, and the Arabs sold them to the British and sold them to the whites.
Okay.
However, when we first started this conversation, me and you both agreed that black folks already was here in America first, right?
Yes, yes.
So it probably was a couple, like a real small number, if we base it off of the time period of slavery, of African people from Africa that actually came to America. Most of
Right.
us already was here in America. It was only 7 states that actually practiced slavery. Most black people in America was free. And only the minority, a real small minority of black people was actually slaves. Most white people didn't own slaves. You had to be a Donald Trump, a Jeff Bezos, or something of that time period that actually owned slaves. Most white people didn't have nothing to do at all with slavery.
Okay, but what about the ones that did? What about the ones that profited from having the slaves?
I look at it like it was a different. The culture.
Okay,
was
hold on.
different.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand on reparations?
I was gonna ask you about that too. Reparations. I don't stand on that. It shouldn't happen.
Okay, so you believe that we should just take that L, 400 years plus, and not receive anything from what they took with that money and built from J.P. Morgan and Chase, fucking Bank of America. Well, my bad, Bank of America I think came from Italy, but everything that they built off the cotton industry and the tobacco industry, we should just take that L. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we negotiated a bad deal already. The black community.
Who negotiated, bro? What?
Our civil rights leaders. They negotiated a bad deal. We already got our reparations. We begged to marry their woman. We begged them to let us in their colleges. We begged them to let us in their neighborhoods. So the civil rights and affirmative action, that was reparations right there. We negotiated a bad deal.
You're wilding, bro. That was not reparations. You know what that was? I guess you can call that human decency to say, yo, okay, you're white. I mean, you're black, but you can still go to school with a white person.
That's progressing more before we begged white people to join their life. When we was independent.
Dude, we didn't beg join. No, we didn't. Listen, Nate, once again, we didn't join white people. I mean, we didn't beg white people to join nothing. We begged white people to let us have better quality. You feel what I'm saying? And if that better quality was in their schools or in their neighborhoods, we just wanted better quality. They could leave and just leave with the suburbs. We just wanted better quality. You feel what I'm
saying? Why do you think a lot of black people always say, I want to move down south? Why do you think a lot of black people want to move down south?
Well, number one, because the cost of living.
And why do you think that is?
Bro, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why the minimum wage is lower in Georgia than it is in New York.
Because what I noticed about black people, they want to move to where the white Christian conservative leadership is.
No, Nate, no. Where do you get these perspectives from?
So who do you think run the South for the most part? The straight white Christian conservative man.
No, you're right. You're right what you're saying about who runs the South. But that's not black people's mindset when they be talking about, yo, I'm moving to Atlanta.
They tear up their state. They vote for a tyrannical government, and then they get tired of all of the social programs they voted for to raise the taxes. They get tired because they voted their gun rights away. They got tired of getting permits to have to build the bathroom in your house. So they
Right.
want to move
Okay.
down south where you got more freedom. But they voted their freedom away in New York and in New Jersey.
But bro, who listen? Most black people are
They don't know they doing that
listen,
though.
time out. Most people, period. I'm not gonna specify black. Most people, period, don't really know about what goes on in politics.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Most people don't vote for their local government, their local prosecutors. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't do that. Most people vote every 4 years for the president. So you can't blame people for not knowing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's our own ignorance, but people didn't know. They didn't know whatever you said they voted away and voted, they didn't know they was voting it away, basically.
Can white people solve black people problems?
Only the problems that white people created that became black people's problems. The problems that black people created, that is black people's problems, no, white people can't solve that.
I always say the rec center and throwing money in the black community, I don't have no problem with that. However, until black people actually have structure within their home, nothing's going to change in society for black people.
I mean, yeah, listen, but Nate, this is what I'm trying to say, man. And when I say this, brother, I say this out of love because, like I said, I want you to be great in your space. What you're saying has been said before. You know what I'm saying? It's a general statement. Oh, nothing to change until this. But let's just start with what we could change right now. You feel what I'm saying? And build on that. You know what I'm saying?
What
Because
legislation, what legislation can the white man write to change how black people act culturally?
None.
I agree.
None. Right.
So until we fix the structure of the black home, which I can't do it, you can't do it, the white government can't do it, is an individual decision, and fathers need to stand up and stop supporting Black Lives Matter.
Time out. Hold up. So, okay, back to Black Lives Matter, right? Okay, you got to explain to me why. Okay, you're saying because whoever started it, they're feminists, and
I mean that's just one of the tools that's like in place. You know, they're not the only contributor, but like I said, it's the structure. Until you have structure in your home, nothing's going to change for black people. Now, what do black people mean when they say they keep us stuck in a hood? What does that mean?
Wait, repeat that.
Black people say they keep us stuck in the hood. What does that mean?
That's a victim mentality. That's what that means.
I agree.
Okay.
We don't even need to cover that then.
Right.
What about defund the police? Are you in support of that?
No, I'm actually for increasing the budget to retrain the police. That's what I'm in favor of. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand
because,
that.
Yo, they got to be retrained, dude. I don't know.
It's like white liberals that don't even live in a hood that's telling black people to defund the police. Where they live, they're not defunding the police.
You know what? People are followers, man. They hear one person say something on TV or they see it on social media. Oh, and they build on it and they say the same thing. No, listen, fund the police more, but put that funding not in their salaries, but in incentives and bonuses and in retraining. You know what I'm saying? If you can go, listen, why not have an incentive? Yo, if you can go a whole year with no complaints against you by any civilians, bonus. And you feel what I'm saying? Incentives. Why not give them incentives?
Well, that's hard to do because, you know, I don't know if you got any friends that's cops. You get it'd be people that they just mad at you just because, like, and people complain on the cops for no reason all the time. That's why they got the body cam, you know, because it protects the civilians and it protects the police.
Bro, that body cam is bullshit.
You think
I just
so?
found that out. I've been seeing videos of black people still getting violated with the body camera. That shit is bullshit. And then explain to me why.
Well, you better call Ben Crump to defend you.
Come out. And then explain to me this. Explain to me this, brother. Why a black man gets killed, we have body cam footage. Why does it take 3 months to release the footage? Exactly.
Like I said, cops are under different, I don't know how to frame it, but they are kind of under different laws than we are. Unfortunately, I'm not saying I agree with this, but you know how me and you, we guilty into proven innocent. Cops are actually innocent into proven guilty. I'm not saying
Well,
that's
listen,
right. I'm just saying that's how it
well,
is.
listen. If that's what it is, then you need to
Right?
come out and say, hold up. If that's what it is, and it does sound pretty accurate for for how they move, come out and say that. So now we can challenge that and change that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In your listen, hold on. In your opinion, if somebody gets killed and you have body camera footage, should it take 3 months to release the footage?
I think it's a whole bunch of legal stuff that's involved that we don't
I
even
didn't ask you that. I
understand.
didn't ask you that. What do you think? Should it take 3 months? No matter what the reason is, should it take 3 months?
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. You're trying to hide something. You're trying to get a story together. You're trying to do some editing. You're doing
Yeah.
something wrong.
Now, let me ask you this. What is white privilege?
White privilege can be many things, man. It could be getting not pulled over or getting pulled over and given the utmost respect, given a warning. It could be just the difference between living and dying too.
I don't think there's a such thing as white privilege. However, I do believe there's a such thing as class privilege. You know, like P. Diddy kids got more opportunity than me.
Okay. Yes or no? Yes, you're right. There is a such thing as class privilege, but there is also a thing of white privilege. You can't tell me you haven't seen videos where police pull a white person over. The white person get out of their car, confrontational, violent, even attacks the officer, still lives. That's not about his class. We don't know how much money that man had. We do know he was white. The cop didn't know how much money that man had, but he was white. They had way more patience with him. You see what I'm saying? So there is a such thing as white privilege, bro.
But that's the thing. The media portrays it that way. There's plenty of black people who do crazy stuff, and the cops are extra nice trying to bring them to jail or whatever, calm them down. But the media can't sell it. They only can sell racism. So they're not going to show us the videos where the cops go out of their way to help a black person or try to calm a black person down. It doesn't fit their agenda to do that. They have to push a racial narrative to turn the blacks against the cops.
Listen, Nate, I am fair, brother, and I do agree with you. The media does do a lot of manipulation. They can only sell the bad stories. I understand that. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, these things really exist, man. There is a thing as white privilege, man. You can't tell me that, man. So, and listen, if there's not a such thing as white privilege, what makes Karen go off the way she goes off?
LaQuisha and Shanae go off too.
No, but Shaquisha and Nene don't call police.
Difference. Yeah, they'll call Pookie and Ray Ray and Tyrone to whoop your ass.
Keep it a buck though. Think about that. You listen, and
what happened to the sound? Unmute.
Black people don't want to deal with police. She know black men really don't have a good history of dealing with police, and she uses that as a weapon.
Damn, brother, why you keep going on mute? You keep going on mute.
Wait, say it again.
Oh, you kept going on mute.
My bad. Yeah, my phone was ringing. I'm saying my bad. Let's get back to Karen. I was saying the difference with her the difference between her going off than when Shaquisha, whatever names you made up, right? And why you always pick the most ghetto names, bro? We got sisters in our
black people understand that.
You keep saying Pookie and Ray Ray. Now with Shaquisha, you know what I mean? We got some people black men. Pardon me 1 second, brother. This is my son. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, I'm doing an interview. I just right back. Yeah. So look, the difference is when Karen calls police, she knows the black man don't want to deal with police. And she uses that as a weapon. I'm going to call the police. So if that's not white privilege, that she can do that and feel that way, then what is?
Like you talking about like Karen. Karen is just a crazy white lady. We should. I don't necessarily agree with her neither, but it is what it is. Them people going to exist. That don't make the
Right.
country racist, or that don't.
No. We were talking about white privilege.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't really mean we. All right. When the cops come, you explain to them what's going on, and they not just gonna lock you up just because Karen's saying something.
Bro, are you serious?
Now, if
Hold
you're
up,
a
Nate,
man,
Nate.
if you're now here's the if you're a man and she said you touched her or something like that, then yeah, you're going to jail.
Nate, what part of America are you living in right now, brother? What
I
part of
live in a
America
reasonable part, man.
Hold up. I mean, but I know your part has media coverage, it has newspapers, you
Yeah.
do your own research. Like, are you living in some type of bubble where that really happens? Where a cop could show up and just start having an intelligent conversation with a black man?
I've seen white people call the cops on black people, and then the cops show up and they figure out there's nothing going on. Like, I had a barbecue over the summer, and my neighbor is a white lady. She called the cops because my dad like parked in her parking spot or something like that. And the cops came and they was like, yo, what's going on? And blah, blah, blah. And we explained to them, like, yo, this lady crazy. She always calling the cops, whatever. And it was cool. And then they left. They didn't even arrest nobody. It all depends what the situation is. It varies.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm trying to say. But listen, once again, I listened to your words. You just said they didn't even arrest anybody. Why should they have arrested anybody?
Yeah,
like,
they don't do that. It just don't work.
No. Listen, you have ones that don't, but you have a lot of ones that do. And listen, when you say when police show up, all black people got to do is explain what's going on. Sometimes black people don't even get the chance to explain, bro.
Hell no. Black people be like, why you show up here? Why you gotta see my ID? Black people be acting a fool.
Dude. I've seen black people get shot by the police before they got a chance to say anything. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, that's not right.
Right, but we're not
but
talking about
that does happen, and it has happened to white people too. White people I've seen videos of white people being treated unfair as well. I think more so we got to address the actual issue instead of making it a race issue.
Hey man, like I said, you gotta have me on here once a week.
I'm gonna have you on again. Let me ask you before we get off. You're the top 3 greatest men of all time for you, dead or alive.
Whoa, that's deep, man. That's deep, man.
I didn't want to do 5 because we'll be on here all night.
Nah. Dead or alive. Through history. Oh man. I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to say Hannibal. I'm gonna have to say Mansa Musa. And who am I third?
Mansa Musa had black slaves.
Listen, man.
Y'all hate George Washington.
Everyone had slaves back then. And like, how could you compete economically? How could you compete economically in Africa back then if you didn't have slaves?
Hey, I understand that, but I didn't think that black people would understand that.
When you say he had slaves, did he have black slaves?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you know this, brother? What research has you done to know this stuff? How you know he didn't
look at the area that he was conquered. Look at the area that he was running through. You think they was Caucasian?
All right, listen. The man was the richest man in history. He could have imported slaves for all we know, but
he probably had white people and black people.
Well, look, okay, let's say he did have black slaves. Okay, but you asked me my top 3 of all time. So I said Hannibal, Mansa Musa, and I'm gonna have to get back to you on that third, man, because it's a lot right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back to you on the third before we hang up.
LeBron James, right?
Definitely not. LJ is great.
Come on, one more person. You could change it next time we on. One more person.
All right, one more person. Move on. You gonna laugh, man? I'm gonna say Richard Pryor, man.
Hey, man, he contributed a lot, almost unnoticeably. Mm-hmm. He was a good dude, and he was honest. There's a lot of stuff that he said in his book that if it would have happened to me, I would have never said it.
Yeah, I read his book. Yes.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, but yo, thanks for joining me, man. Hey, is it cool if I call you Nice One?
Hey, man, if you want to call me Nice One, man, that's cool. No, you just call me Nice either or, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we're gonna do it again though, man. I'm gonna let you know.
Hey, for sure. What you been getting in the gym, boy? Them shoulders looking big on the screen. That's a Snapchat filter. Got your shoulders looking big.
Yeah, yeah, man. I've been working out here and there. But
That's
yeah,
what's up,
man,
bro.
definitely. Yeah, we gotta get on here again. I want to get your cousin
sure.
on here, Will, but he's scared. He afraid.
Ah, that's gonna be funny, man. Get him on here, man. Get him on here, check him out, man. But yo, send me the link so I can watch this after you do the edit.
Yeah, all right, I got you. All right, man. Thanks for
All right,
joining
bro.
me. Peace.
All right, for sure. Peace and love, man. Come on.